Okay.
Are we done?
Yes, I think so.
Can I pass to Dr. Pamela Hutton?
Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you are. It's so lovely to have you all here for our Erasmus Days with Warnborough College Island, with courtesy of the European Union. So good to see you all. As the Erasmus Plus says, we enrich lives, hopefully, and hopefully also we open minds. So with that in sight today, I'd like to introduce Dr. Julian Ng and his team. Far too many for me to mention quickly, so let's just hear from them. So this is Devise for Kenya, and over to you, Dr. Julian and team. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pamela. We are delighted to be here. We are a representation of 4 European partners together with 3 European partners, 1 African university, and 4 African schools. And we are absolutely delighted that they are here with us today. And we are going to present to you a little bit about our exciting project, Device for Kenya. So, Vivian, are you going to share the PowerPoint?
I was about to ask you the same, but of course I can do that. Give me a second. You should see it now, right?
Yes.
Let me just quickly move the bar. Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Vivian Haberts. I'm the project coordinator of Device for Kenya. I'm very happy that you're all here to listen to our project. We wanted to make it very practical orientated. So we are talking about bridging education and employment today, and we are focusing on an area which is called Homa Bay in Kenya. And Julian has already mentioned before, this is a 3-year Erasmus Plus capacity building project. We are coming from, as he said, 4 countries. We have started a year ago, and this is a research and development project. So obviously we have a few accompanying research questions. So we are investigating about digital competencies of students and teachers. We are also investigating in the local economy, so what competencies are needed in future and recent work staff, and also how can we promote these competencies in students, and how should we design teacher trainings so they don't come out of nowhere, but build on existing teacher competencies. And we have created this webinar in the way that we will first give you an insight into the situation of teacher training and local vet schools or secondary schools in the region. Therefore, I'm very happy that my colleagues from Homa Bay are with us, which is the University of Rongo, and 3 secondary schools. And I'm happy to pass over the floor now to the team from Rongo University first. So please introduce yourself as you like. Professor Mova, I believe you will start. So I give the floor to you now, and I will switch. Oh, I forgot the project aims. Okay, well, these are quickly set. We are having, we have 3 main project aims. So what we already did is an installation of photovoltaic equipment at our participating vet schools. We have already achieved that. We will furthermore provide them with low energy ICT devices, which we will do next year. And as said before, we will create teacher trainings. So these are our main aims through the 3 years. And well, now I give the floor to my Kenyan colleagues. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Vivian, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Professor Jonathan Mulwa, a member of the project team here in Warnborough University. With me and the other project members from the university, I will allow Mr. Steve Olo to introduce himself.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Stephen Olo from Rongo University, a member of the project team.
Thank you. Then we have Cliff Ogaga.
Yes, I'm Wycliffe Ogaga, a member of the project team from Rongo University. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Vivian. We are delighted to be here. Back to you.
You can go ahead because now it's your turn to talk a little bit about the challenges for schools in Homa Bay and the competency-based curriculum. So I believe I have some slides apart from this slide, so please just continue.
Okay, thank you, Vivian. I will pick up from the point of challenges for schools in Homa Bay County here in Kenya. And the four major challenges that we have is on infrastructure deficits, especially on technological infrastructure, notably ICT infrastructure and energy supply, being that Homa Bay is a rural county in Kenya. Then the second challenge has been posed by the new curriculum that has been adopted in Kenya, which is now in its 7th year of implementation, called the competency-based curriculum program. In this program, we have implementation challenges and considering that the curriculum is resource intensive. Indeed, the curriculum is centered on what the students can do and not what knowledge they acquire. Therefore, for them to be able to do, it requires a lot of resources. Then there is also lack of work-based training, which we can look at in 4 dimensions. That is lack of integration in the training program, missing partnerships, and increasing demand for ICT competent employees in the job market. ICT and technology is one of the knowledge streams in the curriculum, but we have quite a lot of challenges because the capacity to train is a little bit limited. Then there is insufficient teacher training as the other challenge, where we have inadequate training of teachers. There is no coordinated professional development, and there's actually no sufficient resources to support the teacher training. So those are the major challenges we have. Vivian, next slide. Then the competence-based curriculum in Kenya is structured in 5 different ways. The students are supposed to spend 2 years in pre-primary schools, 6 years in primary, then 3 years in junior secondary school, 3 years in senior secondary school, and 3 years in the university. And the focus of our project is in the middle 3-3, the 3 years in junior secondary schools and in senior secondary schools. That's where the Device for Kenya project is targeted. Next. Vivian?
I'm hitting the buttons, but it's not moving. Huh.
It will move.
Give me a second. My computer is frozen. There's a movement. Okay. Here we go.
Okay. Then the 7 competence, the competency-based curriculum has 7 competence areas that are targeted to be achieved by the student. Remember, we say that the concern of this curriculum framework is what the students can do, but not what knowledge they acquire from the school. And some of the competencies that are intended in the curriculum is communication and collaboration, critical thinking and problem solving, creativity and imagination, citizenry, self-efficacy, digital literacy, and learning to learn. When you look at these 7 competencies, they require a lot of technological innovations for them to be achieved. Next. Then the challenges currently being faced in Kenya as far as the implementation of competency-based curriculum is concerned, I think we had said it, but we want to expound it. One is on insufficient teacher development programs for teacher reskilling. I think we moved to the new curriculum framework with the teachers we were using in the former 844 curriculum framework with very limited training, if at all it was done. We have insufficient ICT equipment in local schools. Previously, ICT was a preserve of higher education. But now we have brought it down up to primary schools, where students are supposed to interact with some ICT technologies, but the government has not done a lot to provide those technologies. Then there's insufficient internet connectivity, especially outside the major cities in the country. And as you know, in Kenya, we only have 4 cities. So most of the other counties that we have in the country, ICT connectivity is a problem, because we rely on mobile network providers, and they are not really able to reach a lot of the places. Then lastly, is poor lack of reliable power supply. I think the largest power supply in the country is hydro-generated, and the distribution is not very well done. It's not far-reaching. In most of the rural schools, there's indeed no electricity, whether from the grid or by whatever other means. Next. Then how is the Device for Kenya project coming in to solve this? The project aims to provide reliable power supply in local schools through provision of photovoltaic cells and supporting items, providing teacher training and training manuals for learners as far as technical and vet training is concerned, providing ICT devices to support learning in the local schools, and finally providing internet access services to local schools to be able to enhance training by use of the devices. That's how the Device for Kenya project is coming in. Next. And before we move to the schools, I think the project has already taken off. The several phases of the project have been executed, as you can see from the photos. We've so far installed the photovoltaic cells and the batteries in readiness for the second phase of installing the technologies. At this moment, back to you, Vivian, to invite the school representatives to tell us the progress that they have made. But so far in Rongo University, which was a test center, our photovoltaics are working perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Mulva. Well, I think Professor Mulva brought it nicely together. So as it happens often, there is a huge decision by the government enhancing and improving curricula, but unfortunately the actors within the system are sometimes a little bit falling behind because there's not enough support provided. I think this is not just a Kenyan problem. This happens quite often. So thanks for giving us the insight into the curriculum, into the new curriculum. And we have all our schools here, so I would like to invite the representatives from our 3 schools, which is Kiaboya Mixed Secondary School, Miramba Mixed Secondary School, and St. Joseph's Orlando Mixed Secondary School, to present themselves and tell us a bit about your situation at your school, challenges you're facing, importance you see of digital competences, and the advantages so far out of the project for you. So I would say I just call, because I've already seen Dishon, I call St. Joseph Orlando first to give us a little insight. I've also, yeah, let's go there. Dishon, are you there? I think I saw you.
I'm here.
All right.
Thank you so much. I'm Dishon. I'm from St. Joseph Orlando. We are so excited about the project because we have already seen its kickoff. The installation of the PV cells together with the system all together is working perfectly. And the students together with the teachers and other stakeholders, including parents, are very excited about the project. We are now more happy and ready even to continue with facing now the training, which will equip the teachers so that the students can learn perfectly in the way that they want to be. What I can say is that the project came at a very right time when we are transitioning to the new curriculum. And there's a lot which was being demanded from us as teachers. And we are very enthusiastic about the trainings, and some of us have been trying to reach different sites to get some knowledge so that whenever we go to the extended programs, we may present our students to the world ready to go and work and do the necessary things that they do. As I was going through one of the research projects, I saw that 75 of the students who are graduating from high school are not able to be employed readily to the market. But when the project comes and the connection between the school and the working environment, which the project really focuses on, gives us an edge. And we are really excited about that our students that we are going to pass through our hands after this project will be able to compete favorably, not only to the people around Kenya, but everywhere in the world. So this is an eye-opener, and we are very excited about it. The principal was not able to join you today, but he has sent his regards. He's excited about the project and is welcoming you to come more and more again. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dishon. Thanks, great overview. So Miramba Mixed, I already saw Protos and Maureen. Hello, nice to see you again.
Hello.
Hello, Protos.
Hello, everyone. I'm happy to hear from you people again this time. However, we are very grateful for the project. In fact, the whole community is so excited about it that it is the talk of the village. These days, the whole school is so shiny at night that it has even made us to attract more students this time. The community is so happy. The local leaders are challenged because what has been done by you people was never thought of in this area. So we are very, very grateful. Again, students are so happy. These days, we even started a boarding part of the school that we are having learners at night because of the presence of the light. Actually, the proposal which we had for the electricity is now forgotten since we have a very efficient source of power. The system is working so well, and we ensured that we fixed it such that nobody can easily tamper with them. We had to put a grill over the whole thing, and it is secured properly. We have also done wiring in all our classrooms. We've also put security lights all over. Even in the domes, we have the light. Actually, everywhere in the school, we have planted the lights. We are only looking forward to the low gadgets which we shall receive next year. And I think come next year, January, we shall have a larger enrollment of students because of what has happened. Otherwise, we are looking forward to more from you people. We are very grateful and everybody is happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Protos. So maybe for the rest of the listeners, this is a school which had absolutely no energy supply, and they are on a hill. So their school is really shiny now in all the dark area where light is not always given. Okay, and the last school is Kiabuya Mixed Secondary School. I have seen the principal, I think. So hello, welcome. I can't unmute. Can you unmute, Julian? I think Philip is
Philip
muted.
is okay.
Mm.
I've asked him to unmute, but he has to.
Yep. Now
I think he has unmuted and muted. Philip, can you hear us?
well, maybe he has problems with his internet
He's
connection.
now unmuted. I'm sure he can hear us. Philip, how are you?
Hello.
I'm
Hello.
fine.
Yes, yes. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Philip Edioni.
And there he is muted again.
Philip, if you can hear us, just unmute yourself. Yeah, now you are unmuted. Don't touch it again.
So I'm saying I'm
Yes.
Philip Abwao Edioni. Hello.
Yes,
Are
we
you
can
getting
hear
me?
you well.
We can hear you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm Philip Abwao Edioni, Principal Kibuya Mixed Secondary School. I want to say that the school has a population of 327 students. Currently, our power is not working. We are doing exams because of the power that we are getting from your devices. The devices are working very well. We have no problem with them. The students are very happy, and even the teachers, together with the students, are saying, come when those gadgets are now working, we are going to start what we call computer classes, and the students will be doing their exams at the national level. So at that particular point, we want to say echo and continue helping us. Number two, when the gadgets were mounted, we called a board meeting together with the stakeholders who were very happy, and they even inquired that how did this thing come up? We told them how it came up. They are very, very, very happy. We have even informed the schools around that once we are going to start the program, we shall be giving them a day or two to come and see what we are doing so that even them can even learn from them. I want to repeat and I want to say thank you. We are waiting for the system to be completed and start working as required. Otherwise, I don't want to talk of the challenge, because whatever you have given us to us is working to our satisfaction. Finally, as my colleague from Orlando said, that you are transitioning to senior secondary school in the next 1 year. This project is really going to help us, because even Mulwa said, Bamba, this time around, it is not what you learn, it is what you can do. They are going to use those gadgets to come up with innovations, to come up with anything that can help them on daily basis in their learning. Otherwise, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Asante sana.
Thank you, Philip. Thank you very much. It's very nice to hear that the news are spreading to other schools as well, and you are thinking about supporting each other. That's really a nice community development you're running there. Okay, so as everybody can hear, the first step was, of course, providing some energy supply. And in total, we are having a strategy for digital transformation and work-based learning in secondary schools in Homa Bay. And obviously a strategy doesn't come out of the blue. We needed to run some analysis. So Julian and myself will now present what we did in order to suggest a strategy and some conclusions. So first of all, in order to define the strategy, we needed to run certain analysis, of course. So first of all, quite obvious, is the state analysis of the technical infrastructure at schools. We needed to know what's there, how is the condition, and what is needed. Then we were analyzing the ICT competences of teachers and students, because we needed to know where's the starting point to start with our trainings. And apart from that, obviously, we needed to talk to the industry in Homa Bay and neighboring countries in order to see, okay, where's the need? What do they need in their future employees coming from these secondary schools? So giving you an overview of the schools, Kiabuya has already mentioned. We are talking about schools with a number of students between 124 and 310 students. These are mixed schools, so obviously they are male and female students, quite balanced. We do have not really formally trained ICT teachers, so in total there's just one. And as the colleagues from the schools have said before, there is hardly any power supply because it fails frequently. And there wasn't any, or there is no ICT equipment at all at these schools at the moment. And this is just to give you an overview, how it looks like. So you can see we needed to check the roofs because we wanted to construct the photovoltaic planets. We have classroom, traditional ones. So this is just the basic condition over in the schools. And first step was, of course, to plan the ICT equipment. So I make this short now. So in total, given to the student numbers, we wanted to create 25, or we want to create 25 student working spaces and equipment, which is Raspberry Pis, tablets, projector, server, intranet. Therefore, obviously, we needed to calculate how much kilowatt hours per month we can get as an expected energy production. That is simple calculations. So we ended up installing 6.7 kilowatt solar panels on the school. And this will give us enough energy to secure ICT classes as well as lights, because most of the schools didn't have any lights, what Protos was already telling us. So we did that. And now I give over the floor to Julian, because we were running some surveys about the digital competencies of students and teachers.
Thank you, Vivian. Yes, with any project, we have to make sure that we have all the statistics in hand before we can hope to embark on a project and make it a success. You can see that we surveyed 247 students and 23 teachers across all the schools. And what was clear is that teachers have more access to technology, and obviously they are more proficient, but we found some inconsistencies in the result as well. I think, Nina, can you just make sure people are muted? Thank you. And that also the vast majority of students do not have access at all to digital technology. Some of them have seen them, but not necessarily know how to work with them. And so our digital teaching and learning strategy had to do several important things. It had to consider what people already know and what people have. Here you can see at a glance how many teachers actually own a smartphone. And teachers whose family own a smartphone, and teachers who own a tablet versus teachers whose families own a tablet. So it's not necessarily also going to be always state of the art. And in terms of smartphone tablet usage, I think a lot of us are guilty of this. Most of us frequently use apps like WhatsApp, Facebook, for communicating with other people. And some people have used Chrome to look for information, but it seems to be more the case of WhatsApp and Facebook. The average daily smartphone usage is 8 hours, which is quite a lot for those people who have smartphones. And the most common activities, as you can see there, are mainly for communication purposes. In terms of digital learning, there is a huge interest, as said by our African colleagues, that in digital learning skills, because they know without this, they will not be able to get good jobs. And they also believe that digital skills will help them in the job market. But then we also looked at what information they had already, and what their knowledge was about search engines and online skills. And actually 81% of people knew more or less what search engines could be used for. They knew how to identify online information sources, and even a large percentage were aware that not all information online should be trusted. And this is a sample survey results. We don't want to show you the whole thing, otherwise you'll fall asleep. But you can see that a large percentage of people are aware of how digital technologies can support and enhance teaching and learning processes. Okay, and then if you go to the bottom part, you'll see that a majority of them also know that learning activities can encourage students to express themselves better digitally. So there are a whole bunch of things where people are more or less aware of what and how important digital technology and learning is, but you can see the second one with no percentage signs there. It's a mix between how many people actually know how to use the digital technologies themselves. Okay.
That was it.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Julian. That was the insight into the digital competencies of students and teachers. What can be seen, quite obvious, what Julian already mentioned, is that there's a huge interest to gain more knowledge in this area. So we were double checking if this is in line with the companies as well, but we wanted to know a bit more. So we were running semi-structured interviews and questionnaires with 10 companies. And we were investigating about the interest of transversal skills of employees, of digital competencies of employees, and also a bit about human resource development of companies. So first is the importance of transversal skills. There was a high, it can be said immediately that there's a really high interest in companies see a huge need of transversal skills in their of their employees. So they want their staff to be able to collaboratively solve problems. They want them to be able to learn. They want them to be adaptable to changes, digital changes, whatever changes. They want them to be initiative and think independently, and also have a knowledge of some cultural awareness and expressions. So you can see the percentage of those was quite high. Next area was the digital competencies. So in this area, there's a high need of safety and data protection, also of digital communication and collaboration, and again, problem solving, but in this case, in digital tasks. So in the end, when we were breaking it down of assessing the human resource development in these companies, we asked them what are current and future needs of employees. So you can see there were mentioned again transversal skills, but also the digital competencies. So in improving the digital competencies of employees was high on the agenda. We asked them about the impact of digital transformation because these are local companies, they are quite small. So they see advantages of the digitalization. They see an improved visibility of their companies. But on the same hand, they also see the need for digital trainings for their employees. And challenges they are facing with their human resource development, the most obvious one is that they don't have personal resources for training their staff. So when they get new staff, they don't have persons to take care of them. They see a slight lack of motivation of staff to get further trained, and there are time constraints. And this is what you can also nicely see in we asked them, what skills do you want secondary school to prepare the students for the job market? And these are the ones which were mentioned most, which is IT skills and communication skills. So it's quite in line with what we heard from vet schools as well. So there is a high need of IT skills, even in a very rural region in Kenya. And now that brought us to our digital teaching and learning strategy, which Julian can present again.
Thanks, Vivian. So we had to take things into consideration. If you have a lack of resources, if you have a lack of the skill sets to be able to handle the resources, how do you come up with a digital teaching and learning strategy that is going to work in Kenya? And of course, there are many strategies that exist out there. And you can see on the left there, we are comparing them against Summer, TPAG, the DigCom Edu framework, etc. And really, what we came up with was a simplified subset of most of these, because we needed to be able to allow our secondary school teachers and students to develop at a pace that makes sense. So we started with the school and company survey results, as you just saw. We did a survey of the resources and equipment. And out of this, we used elements from the DigCom framework so that we can create a mindset change, first of all, in the teachers, to transform solely from a classroom-based face-to-face approach to also a digital mindset of teaching. And then that would allow them to develop courses that are in line with this new style of teaching, to develop the skill sets needed, both in themselves and in their students. And then we expose them to a very innovative style of teaching called learning and work tasks, developed by our partner, the University of Bremen. And this, together with the professional development, will allow the teachers to have the confidence to create and build their own learning and work tasks for their students. And this way, by sharing the resources, we will be able to build capacity across the 3 participating schools. Should I do this as well? Or?
Yep.
Okay, so in conclusion, basically, we've identified a huge need for digital competencies in rural Kenya, and we've shown you the number of issues that we have to tackle. And I don't need to go through all of those again, but we have shown also a very clear process for tackling all of these. Step by step, making sure that we leave no stone unturned, and together with our wonderful colleagues in Kenya, always getting ground up feedback, we are able, I think, to lead to a transformative change in the rural areas of Homa Bay. And I think more importantly, what this will provide, what this project will provide, will be the sustainability, because we are not giving them a fish for the day to eat. We're teaching them how to fish. So they've learned how to install the photovoltaic equipment. They've learned how to transform that into energy and to use that energy with low energy devices, and then on the side of that, learn digital skills and to give themselves a lot more capability in the job market. And also, they have the ability to share this knowledge with other schools in their region.
Thank you very much, Julian, for summing it nicely up, as always. We come to the end of our presentation about developments in Homa Bay. I could click now on the video testimonial, but first of all, I would like to ask if there are questions, because all the project consortium is here. So anyone from the audience, are there any questions? I can't see you though, so if Nina can have a look, or you maybe, Julian, that's fine.
Are there any questions? Oh, we forgot to say that you can also type questions in the chat if you don't want to ask questions in the public forum. Yes, Pamela.
I just had a question about the, Dishon was talking about the barriers and challenges. What did you find was the main challenge or the main barrier towards this project?
To whom was the question addressed, Pamela?
It was just in the area where Dishon was talking.
Ah, where Dishon was talking.
And
okay.
He mentioned barriers and challenges, and I just wondered which was the main one, which was the most challenging, or what was the barrier that actually held you up, if at all?
So this question goes to our teachers. Dishon, can you give Pamela an update?
Thank you, Pamela. What I was talking about was just about the transition of our students who are coming, who are graduating from our schools to the job market. So the challenge was that when they graduate without prerequisite requirements, they will not be able to be employed at a higher percentage. So I was just saying that the project is the bridge gap that will enable us that the students, when they transit, they will be able to compete favorably with the world technology. That was what I was talking about. It was not the challenge of the project, but the challenge on what is there on the ground as per now. In terms of our graduates. Thank you, Dr. Pamela.
Thank you.
Any other questions from anybody else? We can't see you, so actually, if you want to use the raise hand button on the in your control panel, or actually just literally unmute yourself and start talking.
Well, if there are no questions.
Can I ask a question?
Of
if
course,
no one
Nina.
asking. To the teachers, to the school, what's the first feedback from the children?
So maybe Protos, I think you have already spoken a little bit about the community. Is Protos still with us?
Yes, from the student, from the parents, from the community. Is there any feedback when they see your projects member camps? Or...
Okay, thank you. This is Protas. What I can say as the feedback is that the whole community is quite happy because of the project. Actually, some of them approached me if I can provide power outside the school. But I feared doing so because somebody may tamper with it and short circuit it, and it can negatively affect our power supply. So I declined. But when the computers shall be with us, we shall allow them to come and get knowledge. But with the power, we feared they may misuse it, and the flowback effect may affect our system.
Which is true, because we have calculated for these ICT classes. So we have a power oversupply, but yeah, we need to run analysis to see how much energy can be given away to other equipment. Okay. Then I
Thank
think
you very much.
I give the floor over to you, Nina, again. So thank you very much for supporting us.
Are you playing the testimonials?
Oh, that would be good.
I can try, but then I need to let's see.
You need to share with audio, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how to. Can you see my Nextcloud? I don't think so. I need to stop first sharing, and then I need to go into my Nextcloud. And then the question is if you can hear the. Let's see.
No, we can't hear.
No.
Just need to click.
When you're sharing, you need to say share with audio as well.
Okay, let's do that again. Ton freigeben. Ah, okay, I see it here. Should work now. All right.
I am Maureen Onyango from Mirambo Mix Secondary School. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the deficit team at large for fulfilling their promise. That is the installation of the photovoltaics equipments. Today, Friday, the end of our 3-day training, we are very much appreciative because the training has been one of the most wonderful trainings we've attended here in Kenya. And it's going to be more useful, especially in the maintenance process of the photovoltaics equipments. And we'd also like to thank them because now the school has got a reliable source of energy because of the solars that have been installed. Otherwise, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. That was a testimonial. So you can see happy faces, and on the left to Maureen was a student as well. We were having our trainings together with students and teachers, and we really had nice training days in Kenya. And it's such a nice atmosphere to teach there because people really want to learn and are so engaged in everything and every activity. So we were running nice trainings there, and we are looking forward to have more trainings with our Kenyan partners. Okay.
Oh, right. Erokamano.
Erokamano.
Okay.
Maybe also introduce where's on the Facebook you what's your project's name on the Facebook so people can also see the videos and the photos. Vivian.
I am not having a Facebook link here right now. We are on LinkedIn, that's for sure. We are also on Facebook. If you look for Device for Kenya, you will find us on both. And we have also a project website which I can post where you will also find the other social media links, which is deviceforkenya.com. I put it in the chat, so there you can find also the social media link, and we would be happy if you link yourself with us, and we are always happy to discuss about different projects and approaches.
Wonderful, Vivian. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nina.
Well, thank you, everyone. That was absolutely amazing. I really think it needs a round of applause, but we'll pause on that one, I think, for the moment. If the next speakers are ready, we're a little early, but if they are ready, we can actually go to our Learning Kingdom education from Malaysia. So it's a learning center. So are you ready for an early start, everyone?
Yes, definitely.
And this is Wenty and Jenny.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay,
So we will share screen now.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you're ready.
Okay. So can you see our screen?
No.
Just a moment.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. So hi everyone, I'm Wendy. Okay, I'm from the Learning Kingdom Education, and we are the member of the Warnborough College Ireland in Malaysia, Penang. Okay, so welcome to Penang in the future. Okay, I have more than 20 years experiences in education sector, and I'm focusing on teachers training, educational management, sensory integration, and reading education.
Yeah. Hi everyone. Okay, I'm Jennifer. So I'm also from the Learning Kingdom Education, and mostly work with the children. And I'm in this field for around 10 years. Thank you.
So it's our honor have been invited to join this wonderful event. And today we are going to share some education experience in Malaysia. So our title is Understanding Sensory Integration and Brain Development, Foundations for Early Childhood Learning. Because most of our children actually is the preschool children. So that's why we share this topic. Okay, now we will start. Okay, when we say about the early childhood, it refers to the children from birth to age 6. So this is a very important time when the brain grows and changes quickly. So during this period, the brain forms many connections, help to build the foundation for learning, behavior, and health in the future. So the children's experiences during early years, whether through their senses, social interactions, or emotions, shape how their brain develop. So a strong start in childhood leads to better results in education, emotional health, and social connections later in life. Sensory integration in early childhood affects thinking skills like attention and memory, while also helping with the physical development such as the coordination and balance. Emotional control and building relationships are also closely tied to early sensory experiences and brain growth. So this shows how important it is to create supportive, enriching environments for children during this key stage of growth. So now we would like to know more about sensory integration. So sensory integration is how our brain takes in information from our senses like sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. After that, the brain will organize all the informations and make sense of it. It will help us to understand and respond to the world around us. For example, when we hear a loud sound, our brain will tell us if it is something to worry about or it is just a normal noise. In children, sensory integration is important because it helps them to learn, move, and interact with others. If their brain has trouble handling sensory information, they might struggle with things like paying attention, they're unable to pay attention, poor in coordination, or handling different environments. So we have 7 types of sensory systems involved: visual, sight, help us to see, understanding the environment, like the shapes, colors, and movement. Like now, you are watching my slide. This is how our visual function. The hearing processes environmental sound, speech, and language. For example, like we are doing now, listening to the presentation, and the brain processes the sound received for us to understand the content. And the touch, for us to sense the different textures on the surface. For example, we will feel the softness of a blanket, or now you touch your surface of the table, you can feel maybe it's hot or it's cold because of the aircon, or you can feel the heat of the sun on our skin. And next is the taste and smell, will help us sense the different tastes and smells to provide information about the environment, which affects preferences and safety. For example, if we smell something burnt, we may alert that might something somewhere gone on fire, and we can react accordingly to avoid danger. And next to is the most important part, the balance and movement will help us to balance body control, coordination, and know how fast or slow we are moving. So now we can sit, we can walk, and we can ride a bicycle, or knowing if we are moving up or down in an elevator. And last one is the body awareness. So this is the senses where the body is in space and controls our movement. It helps us able to touch our nose when closing our eyes or walking without watching our feet. So each of these senses works together to help us function, learn, and adapt to our surroundings every day. Children use the sensory experiences to explore the environment, develop motor, social skills, and form the foundation for later academic success. Now, we would like to show a video to understand more on the sensory operation. So now later you may use any object on your table. You can try and see, such as maybe you have pen, books, or paper to experience the sensory process. So now let us watch the video. Actually, it's a demonstration by me and my teachers. Come in. Hi. Can hear the sound? Have a seat. Okay, straight. Come here. Good morning, children. Good morning, teachers. Okay, today we are going to interact with the blocks. Okay, so first of all, show me the red one. Okay, so let's see. Okay, what color is this? Red. And let us touch. What do you feel? If you have anything on your table, you may also to experience this, touch and feel the texture and the surface. Okay, then you try to smell it. What do you smell? You can smell the things. You can smell the paper, smell the pen. Going to listen to the sound of the blocks. Now let us take another one. Yellow color. There we try to knock. What sound do you hear? Like rock hitting each other. Okay, then we try to make a music. You follow my rhythm. You can use any object to hit the table. Yes, very good. Okay, now we try to make a tower with the block. Okay, first one, blue. Second one, green. Third one, yellow. Fourth one, green. Uh-oh. Okay, can we try to make it straight? So this is how all our sensory integrate together to complete a task. Although this is a very normal and easy activities, but it's very useful when we want to train the sensitivity of the children's senses.
All right. So now that we understand the importance of sensory integrations, it is essential to explore how children build on this foundation. So one powerful way they do this is, of course, through play. So imagine what's happening inside their brain while they engage in all those activities. So play is not just a fun activities, it is a critical part of the brain development. You might thinking, isn't play just a play? Well, it is much more than that, as you can see from the video. So play helps children acquire essential skills that shape their cognitive, social, and emotional growth. So play is more than just entertainment. It is actually a brain-building powerhouse. For example, role play. When the children pretend to be firefighters, as shown in the PPT there, so they aren't just having fun, they are actually practicing with teamwork, empathy, and courage. And guess what? This kind of play strengthens the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that handles memory, problem solving, and social understanding. So why does play matters? So we can break down into 4 key benefits. First is the physical growth. Activities like running, sport, develop motor skills and enhance the brain and body coordination. So this type of play stimulates the brain sensory integrations, reinforcing the coordinations and spatial awareness. Second, the cognitive growth. Think about the building blocks and puzzle. So while we are playing those activities, foster problem solving, decision making, and also abstract thinking. So these tasks promote neural connection that supports memory and learning to our young children. Third, emotional expressions. So through pretend play, children get to express their emotions in safe, controlled ways. It helps them navigate real-life feelings like fear or frustrations and build emotional regulation. And finally, the social skills. Play teaches social norms, communications, and teamwork. So interacting with peers help children to build their neural connection related to conflict resolutions and social behavior. So the significance of play in childhood development is supported by the theories from Piaget and Vygotsky. So Piaget's The Stage of Cognitive Development show how play evolves as thinking become more complex. And also Vygotsky, another well-known developmental psychologist, emphasized how play helps children stress their ability with guidance from the others, no matter with teachers, parents, etc. That's called the zone of proximal development, the ZPD. So now let's dive into how play directly stimulates the brain. Whether it is physical play, social play, or imaginative role-playing, each type activates the different brain areas. So play strengthens the neural connections, the neural connectivities, particularly in the prefrontal cortex, where planning, decision-making, and emotional regulation occur. So these processes are crucial for lifelong learning. Memory learning activities like puzzles, storytelling, engage the hippocampus, which is responsible for memory. Play also stimulates the limbic system, which supports the emotional regulations, such as excitement, fear, and empathy. And also, it enhances the sensory integrations, sensory inputs like touch, movements, and balance, enhancing the coordination and spatial awareness. So let's watch the video regarding these activities. All right.
Today is Daisy's birthday. Michael drives a great car. So now there's the picture cards for you. Please put the picture cards accordingly.
So it is about the neural connectivity. It's asking the children to remember the story and match the picture cards. Strengthen the neural connections in the prefrontal cortex. And also, the memory gains activates the hippocampus, reinforcing the memory and consolidating learning. The sensory integrations and the knock-knock game, which is we always play with the children. Yes. So as you can see, the children practice regulating their emotions, expressing the excitement and curiosity. So this interaction stimulates the limbic system, preparing them to manage the real-world emotions. All right, so let's come back to our slides. Okay. So as you saw, activities like arranging picture cards according to stories and playing the knock-knock game. So it different brain area lights up. So beyond play, we can further support the brain development with some simple brain exercises. So these exercises can range from simple daily activities to specific tasks designed to strengthen the cognitive abilities. Additionally, these exercises strengthen the connections between the left and the right of the brain. So today I would like to introduce two different types of brain exercises. The first is eyes exercise, and the second is finger aerobic. So now I would like to invite all of you. Let's take a quick moment to try out this fun brain exercises ourselves. So everyone, could you please close your eyes? Yeah, if you're with me. So you may try to close your eyes. Okay, and yeah, let's take a deep breath. Okay, slowly breathe in, breathe out, and one more time, breathe in, breathe out. Okay, relax your eyes. Now open your eyes. Okay, without moving your head, look to the left, move your eyes to the left, right, left, and right. Now look up without moving your head, look down, look up, and down. All right, let's try to move your eyes in circle. Okay, ready? Make a big round. All right, good job, everyone. Thank you. Okay, so for eyes exercises, actually, as you can see with the children, working out with them, so it improves their learning through listening, okay, through listening and focusing. Okay, so next is the finger aerobic. Yes, it's finger aerobic. We call it. Yeah. So can I borrow your hands, everyone? Okay. So now this is thumbs up and finger point. Okay, ready? Now we move slowly. Thumbs up, finger point. Thumbs up, finger point. Okay, move it faster. Thumbs up, finger point. Thumbs up, finger point. Thumbs up, finger point. Yes, thank you, everyone. Okay, so yes, so as we call the finger aerobics, is boost the young children the fine motor skills and also the hand-eye coordinations and promoting the brains and body connectivity. Okay, so the benefit of the brain exercises are significant. They help children concentrate, accelerate the memory recall, and support the overall brain growth. So you can see just how a few minutes of practice can enhance focus. These activities can do wonders for our young children's brain. So let's move on to the next activity. Are you ready? You have to remember the pictures, okay? Let's focus. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now you can engage with me. Either you can write it in the chat box or you can just voice out, okay? Name the 4 cups of bubble tea. Any one of you? Let's give a challenge.
It was chocolate, strawberry, something yellow, melon, I think.
Avocado.
Orange. Yeah, the last one was green. I don't remember the flavor.
Yeah, the flavor. Yes.
Avocado.
Would you please repeat that? Sorry. The first is?
Chocolate.
Yeah, second.
And the second one was strawberry.
Okay. Then, any one of you would like to try?
Orange.
Yeah. And the last is with the color.
Avocado.
Yeah, all right. Okay, thank you so much. So this is what we call a photographic memory. Okay, so it's actually linked to the right hemisphere, which allowed our children to rapidly store, okay, and retrieve the visual informations, especially when paired with positive experiences. So visual and imaginative activities further strengthen the memories and learning.
Now at the final part of the presentation, let us determine to a case study. I will tell you a story which shows that if a child's sensory integration or the brain development is improper, it can lead to challenges in processing and retaining information, which can hinder overall brain development and learning. So this boy, the name is Jake. Okay, he's a 5-year-old boy. He started the preschool with difficulties that his teachers quickly noticed. He struggled with basic tasks like holding a pencil, cutting paper, and keeping his balance during outdoor play. These delays in motor skills made activities like writing and drawing very hard for him, while other children seemed to do them easily. In the class, Jake had trouble focusing and often couldn't follow simple instructions. His teachers found that he would lose track of tasks or forget what he was supposed to do, showing signs of poor problem solving and memory skills. He also became overwhelmed when there was too much noise or activity around him, leading to frequent meltdowns, anxiety, and frustrations. This emotional regulation issue made it hard for Jake to cope, and he often withdrew from group play, finding it hard to interact with peers. Then, Jake's learning difficulties will become more apparent. He struggled with reading, and writing, lagging behind other kids in picking up new concepts. His teachers also noticed that he had trouble understanding social cues and often found it hard to join group games, leading to social and communication barriers. At times, Jake would react strongly to certain sensory experiences, like loud noises or the feel of certain fabrics, showing signs of sensory processing disorders. He will either avoid these experiences or react intensely, making it challenging for him to stay in the classroom when things became too stimulating. Because of these ongoing struggles, Jake's self-esteem began to suffer. He became frustrated with himself and started to feel bad, which affected his confidence and motivation to try new things. This boy, Jake's case, shows that how inadequate sensory integration and brain development can deeply affect a child's learning, behavior, and social skill. In conclusion, our presentation today mainly want to highlight the importance of early intervention and providing the right sensory experiences to support healthy brain development and overall well-being. As parents, educators, and caregivers, we should create sensory-rich, supportive environments that nurture each child's potential. The early intervention and tailored strategies can address sensory challenges, setting our children on the path to success. By understanding and supporting sensory integration and brain development, we empower children to thrive and reach their full potential before everything is too late. So this is all our presentation. Hope you like our topic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any question?
Thank you very much, Jennifer and Wenty. Does anyone have any questions for them?
I've got a question. So if you are dealing with children who are sort of having the similar case to Jake, as you described, generally with parents, how do they react and how do you get them to change their mindset about their own children?
You mean the parents' mindset?
Yes. Start with that before we start looking at the child.
Okay, normally in our school, we will actually in our school we will have some sensory integration activities to train them every day. So to let them actually if they have such we say symptoms, at least maybe they can improve. But if the condition become more serious, normally we will refer them to the expert, like the sensory integration experts or our hospital or specialists. Yes. But we need some very, very good communication skills to talk to the parents, because we cannot tell the parents that your child have problem, but we will show them actually in which age group their milestone, where should they achieve. But if the children is far left behind, so we will show them. Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know if Dr. Pamela has anything to say about that example.
Well, probably. My own slides will be showing similar, or my talk will be something similar today, actually. So for me, that was incredibly interesting. And, you know, I love the aspect of the ZPD, the zone of proximal development, because that with neuroplasticity, of course, enables change and encouragement of the brain itself. So it's an area that I love. So I was particularly pleased to hear about that, especially as I have not put that in my own talk. So it was lovely to get that little vibe of the ZPD. So thank you for that. So yes. Any other questions, anyone? We are running a little early, so if everyone's happy, shall I just continue? Okay, I may need a little help, Nina, again. I've got a freeze on my computer, unfortunately. I can sort of...
Okay.
I've swapped computers in the meantime, but sadly I haven't got my slides on this computer, so are you able to share my slide? Oh, thank you. Okay.
Just give me 1 second, please.
This was the same yesterday, so it's not a new thing in down where I am currently. So when you're ready, just
yes.
Yes. Thank
Okay,
you.
I will share now.
Thank you.
Can everyone see it?
Thank you. My talk today is on sensory skills in student-teacher education, crossing boundaries with dance. Next slide, please. Increasing communication between educators and students and educators allows for greater collaboration in the area of sensory skills. This presentation, hopefully, well, it is a small section of a larger one, actually, I wrote, will show some of the connections between sensory skills and dance. On this slide, you see STEAM. So if we can understand that art is not just about looking at paintings and are able to see the bigger picture, then we can understand how important creativity is to every student, whether this is a student or teacher with sensory issues or not. Sensory processing in the classroom may create a different set of difficulties for students hypersensitive to sensory stimuli than in the home. Home is where they tend to stay in their own comfort zone, and it may well be a quieter place. However, it is in a classroom setting where the student will need to adapt the most. For example, students with auditory stimulation hypersensitivity may become distracted by background noise, affecting their ability to listen appropriately to instruction. Students feeling overwhelmed by the classroom environment may seek further proprioceptive and vestibular input by using rocking, spinning, and twirling movements to calm themselves. With such behaviours possibly disturbing other students, they are in danger of being labelled as disruptive and attention-seeking. Having inclusion in the classroom setting, whether dance or mainstream, requires adaptation and flexibility on all concerned parties. By this, I mean all the students, all the teachers will be adapting their teaching and learning skills to meet their own needs and the needs of their peers in order to meet their own style of learning. Not all sensory processing challenges are noticeable immediately. Therefore, it is important to continue to identify any new behaviours which may arise. Next slide, please, Nina. This slide is identifying our senses, and we generally don't think about senses at all until we are in danger of losing one of them. Oh, I seem to have lost my pictures from the proprioceptive, interoceptive, and audio.
Sorry, Pamela. I think because of the internet.
Okay.
Give us that. Sure. Oh, it's coming.
Oh, good.
Oh, I think I have to click it. Sorry,
yes.
I'm not sure.
Thank you. Okay, so if we are in danger of losing one of them, we can become quite emotional or frightened even at this prospect. We can become anxious about situations, yet being curious often helps to alleviate our concerns about situations, as in the example below. In the center of the slide, you will see the lonely orange. This orange was actually the subject of a sensory skills game led by Dr. Julian and Nina for Warnborough Island's SenSed project, where student teachers and teachers were blindfolded. It was great fun, yet at the same time quite demanding. Having to use their senses in ways for which they were not prepared. For example, having no vision and having to rely on using their other senses more distinctly to distinguish smell, taste, and touch. Next slide, please. Increasing communication between educators and students increases the ability to work together using these sensory skills we have. It helps to increase our knowledge, hone our skills in any of the areas of our life, helps us to grow and increase our competence, all the while learning. Using a mobility aid, such as a wheelchair, does not exclude someone from dance or teaching or being creative or life. As dancers, I dance ballet, we express how we feel through movement. And some of you may remember my talk on dementia a couple of years ago of an elderly ex-prima ballerina with dementia living in a care home in Spain. Through headphones, she heard the music to the Swan theme in Swan Lake and was immediately able to feel the rhythm, moving her upper body and arms to the beautiful music, despite sitting in her wheelchair. In most types of dementia, the frontal lobes, behind the forehead here, which store and process information, are affected. Yet, somehow, the music had obviously stirred a memory, an emotion, to something which at one time was familiar to her, something even now, in the midst of her severe dementia, she could relate to. Next slide, please, Nina. Senses used in dance. In dance, we use all the senses we have. For example, we think of hearing, which is considered the first sense used and the last sense to go before death, or not hearing in some cases. And maybe because of this, exclude ourselves from considering activities such as dance. Yet dancers and actors can be without hearing. They're deaf. Think Rose Ayling-Ellis. She was a competitor on the English version of Strictly Come Dancing. No hearing, but was able to get through the music. Musicians too. Think Dame Evelyn Glennie, the percussionist who plays across the world. And she senses the music through her body. She feels the music. We have the South African ballet dancer Simone Welgemont, who does not downplay her deafness. She strives to raise awareness of all the possibilities on offer for all students, regardless of their sensory issues. As she says, your deafness does not define who you are. And I agree. It is what you can do or are prepared to do with what you have, which will define you. And it's interesting, earlier this morning in the Kenya talk, Philip said, it is what you can do, which struck a chord with me because I agree with that. One sense I am adding here, not generally considered one, but I consider it one, is curiosity. Feel the emotion of curiosity. Know what it feels like to continue through your fears and your assumptions about what others may think. Be curious, have fun. Next slide, please, Nina. Excuse me. This is a concept and a concept of inspiration. And inspiration comes from many sources. The following are appropriate for any subject we may wish to teach. or learn. Think, envision, imagine this. Imagine the performance. What will it look like? Whether that's a dance performance or you're going to perform in front of your students for taking them a walk across the geographical landscape of the classroom. It doesn't matter. But what will it look like? Brainstorming. This leads to critical thinking. What do we need to know? What do we need to research? The next one, the concept of dance. How might this concept be represented by the elements of dance? Our body, our energy, our space, and the time we have. The outline of the lesson, the first draft of ideas, the improvisation, free association, and we play with movement. Creation leads to teamwork. Teamwork leads to expression and collaboration. And again, in the Kenya speech this morning, it was in the 7 competencies, communication and collaboration. And this is what it is. Teamwork, expression, collaboration, teach the dancers, teach the students, add formations, and the use of choreographic and the new technological devices, use them, keep using them. Observation, attention to detail. We engage, we persevere, even when things are getting difficult. But we have to always consider, how are we communicating this concept to the students? Whether the students are student teachers or our own students out there. And of course, the last point, evaluation and reflection. We need to look at what works and what does not work, what doesn't support this concept. We look at choreographers, dancers, and observers who are assessing, but we also assess. And when we need to, we revise what doesn't support the concept and make changes where necessary. All of these points are relevant in whichever subject we teach our students, or even learn a new skill ourselves. Next slide, please, Nina. And this is identifying sensory issues that impact learning. Sensory activities are structured exercises that help students process sensory input in ways that are calming, engaging, and focused. Such activities can help support students with neurodiversity issues, sensory processing disorders, or general challenges like restlessness or difficulty focusing. Neurodiversity, or being neurodivergent, is when the brain works in a different way from what is termed a neurotypical brain. This does not mean that your brain is wrong or that their brain is wrong. It's simply wired differently. Sensory activities in the classroom help regulate students' responses to sensory input. In particular, for students who may experience sensory overload or require additional proprioceptive and vestibular input, which are position and movement of joints and muscles, and gravity and movement respectively. All this can be sometimes overload, but we are there to help them and for them to adapt and become curious about adapting. Next slide, please, Nina. This is a Venn diagram indicating different learning styles, and every student has their own style of learning, whether this is visual, auditory, or kinesthetic. Creating a classroom environment that caters to every student's sensory needs can significantly enhance learning and emotional well-being. In practice, however, this is not always possible, but using movement and dance can change things significantly. Even if we are teaching a range of subjects from maths to geography, through religion and even history. Following on the heels of known research, particularly on levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, we know that dance improves mental health and social connection, decreases depression, anxiety, negative thinking, and increases the feel-good factor, the positive effect. Social connection is about making that connection with actual people, with real people. It is not about how many followers one has on social media. And sadly, now that work from home has become the favoured way of working, it will be interesting to see the impact of social isolation in a few years' time. So why dance? Dancing builds teamwork. Each dancer's movements will impact on the whole performance, so teamwork is crucial. Dance builds confidence, it builds trust, and it creates and builds friendships. Dance means working with different people, learning different cultures and dance styles, and it aids creativity. Dance improves coordination, which basically is the ability to distribute weight smoothly and efficiently. Dance also takes you out of your comfort zone. It allows for a sense of curiosity. It enables body awareness. It is invigorating, healthy, and social, and often jolly hard work, particularly when you're learning a new skill or a new dance step. And dance helps you set targets and self-evaluate. It helps you aim for self-improvement within dance. For example, technique, body image, and physical activity. And dance also helps you to build respect and resilience, teaching ourselves and students with kindness and understanding, particularly if they have any hiccups, any little blips in what they're doing. This in turn helps build resilience, leading to a greater acceptance and understanding of failure, helping to increase the determination to keep learning and practicing. And it also, of course, helps with balance. It builds strength, it builds core muscle, and supports mobility and flexibility, helping to prevent falls across the ages. And I don't mean with just the older population, I mean from young. Start young and create this aura of health. Next slide, please, Nina. Thank you so much for this. And these are the main brain areas here. So we're still on dance at the moment, and dance is fun. It also helps synchronize our neural pathways in various ways, such as neural synchrony through movement and intra-brain synchrony, the power or phase between the multiple brain areas. These various areas are, of course, significant for all our education, be it dance or the STEM subjects. Early childhood experiences influence our development and behavior. Sensory, parietal lobes. These give us the information using touch, physical contact, and position and body of the movement of the body, proprioception. Creative, our prefrontal cortex, gives space, time, force, and of course, flow. Understanding how our bodies move, and generally having the understanding of the whole body. Emotional. This is where the amygdala comes in. The amygdala is a tiny little piece, just around the size of my small nail. But it remembers emotion. And if we think back to the ex-prima ballerina, she remembered the emotion that went in with the music. but it also stimulates the areas which lead to the feeling of emotion. And the examples are with music, whether it's Tchaikovsky or rhythm and blues or jazz. And the social area of the main brain area is with the medial prefrontal cortex and the posterior superior temporal sulcus. These are the grooves and the ridges in the brain. And this area receives input from other cortical regions to plan and direct cognitive, motor, affective, and social behavior. And then we have the rhythmic, the frontal cortex, including the premotor cortex, supplementary motor area, the SMA, the basal ganglia, and the cerebellum, all involved in controlling rhythmic movement and the recurring patterns of measured energy. The cognitive, the ventrolateral frontal area, which is involved in many of the highest aspects of cognition and language. And this is only present actually in humans and primates. Think dancing chimpanzees. And this process engages critical thinking, adaptability. So again, we're looking at a little area of the ZPED, the zone of proximal development, with neuroplasticity there. So I'll bring that in for Wenty and Jennifer. And and this area engages all of these things, but it also applies information. The motor cortex is in an area of the frontal lobe, located in the posterior precentral gyrus, immediately anterior to the central sulcus. Again, these ridges and valleys in the brain. Motor learning allows dancers, for example, to execute sequences not generally used in motor development in general people. So some of these motor cortex areas help dancers, ballerinas, etc., to do such things as pirouettes, balance on point, and do the large jumps required in order to create this beautiful picture, basically. The auditory, this is the hearing in humans, is the auditory cortex, and it's the most highly organized processing unit in the brain for language and music. And I think, of course, as I said earlier, you know, it's one of the first senses to appear when the baby is born, and it's one of the last to disappear just before we die. But in brain talks, I always like to add curiosity. Curiosity is a very complex sense, actually, and curiosity itself activates several areas of the brain, in particular the prefrontal cortex, the hippocampus. If someone could just turn their audio off, please, that would be good. My voice may not last for the whole session here. But curiosity activates several areas of the brain, in particular the prefrontal cortex, the hippocampus, and of course the amygdala. And connections between these areas are associated with learning and emotion in general. Could I have the next slide, please? I have no, oh, thank you. Identify goals. So identifying our goals. What do we think about? What do we want to achieve? So we need to think about what we want to achieve for what we're going to do. For whichever subject or subjects we wish to teach or learn, the plan is the same. We assess what is happening and what needs to change. If this is a new project, find out what we need to begin it. Our plan. We create a plan which meets all or most of the criteria for the present. This could change later, of course, as the plan increases or develops, we then obviously keep going back to it to have a look. We then implement our plan. This may be quite scary at first. However, keep being curious. Start the project. Evaluate. Evaluation is always important. We just need the last one there, Nina, please. Keep checking how it's going. Do we need to reassess everything? Do we need to replan? Whatever we're doing, keep evaluating. Can I have the next slide, please, Nina? So playing. Parts of education used by one person, small groups or large teams. As we've heard today through our speakers, playing is important. Learning, where learning is for all and for life. We always say lifelong learning, where every lesson shapes a life. Whether we're teaching it or learning it, it's shaping us. And growing in confidence in the classroom and in the wider world, in the knowledge of who and what we are. And together, where playing, learning and growing gives us skills for life. And teaching ourselves, our students and their students, how to play, learn and grow and be curious together. This is one set of rules which we could all do with remembering. Last slide, please, Nina. No, my last slide. No, my last slide.
Nothing actually. This is the end.
It's Warnborough Island, but I'll just say thank you.
Okay.
So don't worry about that. Thank you very much, everyone.
I added one photo here if you like to.
No.
Sure.
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Pamela. It was a brilliant presentation. I enjoyed it most. Play-based learning has been my main major area in early childhood as well. Very well done.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry about the voice, everyone. It's coming back, but slowly.